It's beer o'clock on Real Ale Craft Beer. Today we've got a beer from Northern Monk Brewing Company, and it's a can of their Newer World IPA, coming in at 7.4% ABV in a 440 milliliter can. Looking forward to this one. Big fan of Northern Monk. I like this strategy. We'll get into that in a moment. Beer in the glass then. For a New World IPA, we're expecting a bit of haze. We got a bit of haze. It's a 2-finger white head, good levels of carbonation, straw coloured, amber kind of straw coloured beer. Looks really nice. Love the haze. Let's get the aroma. Oh yeah. This beer was £3 in my local Morrison's store. A newer beer. I'm not sure if it's a new beer to Northern Monk, but it's definitely a new beer to Morrison's. Oh, it's lovely and citrusy. Oh yeah. Slight tartness to it as well. Grapefruit, mango, passion fruit. It smells good. I'm starting to salivate here, so I'm going to dive in. Cheers, everybody. Oh wow, a level of sweetness in there, a nice level of sweetness to begin with. The malts are coming through. Then it's tart in the middle, like mixed fruit jam. And then it's passion fruit and mango, some tangerine, grapefruit, fleshy blood orange, little bit of bitterness on the back end, sweet, and a little bit of bitterness. Let's get the rest of the can in the glass. Little bit more haze now. Now we're able to get the whole can in the glass. Oh, while I'm here, very quickly, it's something I've wanted to touch on for a while. Haven't been able to do so because of this. I keep forgetting to say something. But with all of these new beers hitting the supermarket in 440 cans, you don't have to. It's not the end of the world if you don't. But if you're new to beer, if you're getting into beer, if you're watching this review thinking, I'm going to go down Morrison's and pick up a can of this because it sounds delicious, have a look at the top shelf in Morrison's on the end of the aisles at the moment. On the end of the aisles, they're starting to sell glassware. And it's really important that you get the right glassware for the beer. If you've only got, here's a pint of lager I reviewed earlier. If you've only got a tulip glass, as they call them, a pint glass, and you desperately want to get it into the beer, fine, absolutely fine. But what this does, this style of glass promotes the aroma, it promotes the flavour. So if you've got a spare couple of quid and you see one of these glasses in Morrison's, in the supermarket, honestly, for the long run, if you're in this for the long run, if you like this style of beer and you want to drink more of it, pick yourself a glass up for a few quid. It's well worth it. That's nice. It's a really good example of a beer. Now, before I rate it, I want to talk to you about Northern Monk's strategy. It's a really good strategy. It's a straddling strategy to keep everybody happy. What do I mean by that? Let's start at the bottom. Oh, I shouldn't say the bottom. That sounds so pretentious. I don't mean to sound pretentious. Let's start at the supermarket cheaper beers. So Northern Monk realised that there's a market for everybody, including me. I buy a lot of beer in my supermarket. It's very rare these days that I'm at the other end of the scale, which we'll get to in a moment. But I'll pick up these cans of beer for £3. I'll pick up the 330 cans, the smaller cans, for... they're normally 3 for £5. Northern Monk are well invested in this. They have their Eternal, I think the Eternal IPA, a few of their other IPAs in Asda's, pardon me, Morrison's, Tesco. I think they're in Waitrose as well, maybe. So there's a nice range of beer for people like me. People like me. I don't mind saying people like me. People like me who like to save a few pound and still drink a decent beer. And then they do the other end of the scale, which cater for, how do I put this? People like, I used to be like one of these. The Patrons Project kind of style of beers, which are top end, premium, high end craft beers. The real craft beer connoisseurs are out there looking for it, they're chasing it. Every month there's new beers coming out, they're looking for it, they want to buy it. And that's great. That's absolutely great as well. I mean, I enjoyed my time in that field. I did, chasing the ultra rare, the super rare beers. The problem, and I don't mind saying it because I mentioned it in a previous beer review very recently. I was on an online beer store, and so most of the beers were priced between £5, £6, £7 a can. And no doubt, these beers are delicious. They are absolute delicious beers. But they're slightly out of my price range at the moment. Again, I kind of fluctuate between being flush and being skint. More often than not, I'm skint. And then when I'm flush, every now and again, I'll go and purchase some of these beers. But going back to it, that's where Northern Monk kind of sit. They have their supermarket kind of capture the market craft beers in maybe the hope that they'll move over to their more kind of £6-7 a can Patrons Project style beers, which are absolutely delicious. And there's a market for everybody. That's what I'm trying to say. There's a market for the common man. There's a market for somebody who's got a spare few quid and don't mind spending a few pound on a really delicious craft beer. It's great. So that's what I meant by the strategy. Northern Monk have got this strategy, I think, perfect. They got it spot on. Let's rate this beer. I like it. Newer World India Pale Ale, 7.4% ABV. I'll probably keep that in my fridge. I'll probably buy a can or two of that a week and enjoy it. Let's rate it. I like that enough. I like that enough to give it a Stone the Crows. Yeah, that's a Stone the Crows 8 out of 10. For the £3 can of beer, 8 out of 10. Please put your comments in the comments box, subscribe to our daily beer and food reviews, give us a big fat thumbs up. Boom! Cheers.